Okay, we've all been there, right? You're doing the dishes and suddenly the water's not going anywhere. Or you're taking a shower and you find yourself standing in a puddle. Yep, it's the dreaded slow drain, and let's be real, it never, ever just fixes itself.
But what if those slow drains, or those weird gurgling noises, or even those faint, funky smells aren't just little annoyances? What if they're actually messages from your house? Well, that's exactly what's going on. Your plumbing is literally trying to tell you something important, and you're going to want to listen up.
All right, so let's get into it. First up, we're going to learn the language of your pipes. Think of this as decoding the messages your drains are sending, so we can catch these little warning signs before they blow up into a huge, expensive nightmare.
So here are the 4 big ones you need to watch out for. Of course, you've got the classic slow drain. But it gets a lot more serious. If water is backing up in more than one spot, like your toilet starts bubbling when the washing machine drains, that is a massive red flag. It means your system is struggling to find air because a main vent is probably blocked. And definitely pay attention to those strange sounds and smells. A random gurgle or that nasty sewer odor, those aren't just weird quirks, they're usually pointing to much deeper problems, like a major clog or even an issue with the main sewer line. So what happens when you spot one of these signs? Well, the good news is you don't always have to hit the panic button and call a plumber right away. Let's walk through some simple and, more importantly, safe first aid for your pipes that you can absolutely try yourself. For those minor clogs, this natural solution is fantastic. It's basically a safe little chemistry experiment for your drain. You just pour about a cup of baking soda down there, follow it up with the same amount of vinegar, you'll get that really satisfying fizzing action, then just let it sit and do its thing for an hour or so. Finally, flush it all out with hot water. It's perfect for clearing out everyday gunk, and it's great for just regular maintenance, too. Okay, now this is just as important, knowing what not to do. Using a plunger or maybe cleaning out that little U-shaped pipe under the sink, the P-trap, those are great DIY moves, but you have to hear this. Stay away from those harsh chemical drain cleaners. The intense heat they create can seriously damage plastic pipes and eat away at older metal ones. A lot of the time, they just end up making the problem way, way worse. But what about when that baking soda trick doesn't work and the plunger just isn't cutting it? Well, it's so important to recognize that tipping point, that exact moment when it's time to put down the DIY tools and call in a professional.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. If the problem keeps coming back, or if it's happening in several places at once, that is your signal. It means this isn't about a single clogged sink anymore. It's a huge sign that the real issue is much deeper down in your main line, and that is definitely a job for a pro. So, what does a professional actually bring to the party? Well, it's a lot more than just a bigger plunger, I can promise you that. We're talking about a toolkit that's full of some pretty cool diagnostic tech that finds the real problem with zero guesswork. And this is the true game changer, the camera inspection. I mean, how cool is this? Professionals can literally feed a tiny camera deep into your plumbing to see exactly what's going on. They can spot if it's a simple blockage, or if a tree root has broken in, or even if a whole section of pipe has collapsed. This means they're diagnosing the actual disease, not just treating the symptoms. All right, so we've covered how to spot problems and how to get them fixed. But you know what's even better? Preventing them from ever happening in the first place. A little bit of proactive care can go a long way in keeping your drains happy and saving you a ton of trouble. And here are some super simple habits that make a world of difference. Just flushing your drains with hot water every so often helps melt grease before it can build up. Drain guards, they cost practically nothing and are amazing at catching hair. And hey, if you've got an older house or yard full of trees, getting a pro to do a periodic cleaning can stop a disaster before it even thinks about starting. And it all really comes down to this one simple idea. Taking care of a small issue today, whether that's you clearing some gunk or calling a pro for a quick check, prevents a massive, messy, and expensive problem down the road. Acting on those little warning signs early is always the smartest, safest, and cheapest approach. So, I'll just leave you with this question. Think about your own place for a second. Are there any sinks you've been putting up with that drain just a little too slow? Any of those weird gurgles you've kind of learned to tune out? Maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop ignoring them and finally listen to what your drains have been trying to tell you.